Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and I'm just checking in on a Thursday afternoon. What's going on? How are you? I am, as you're listening to this, I'm probably already on an airplane. I like sugar spice with painted music is my aeroplane. Hey, is that the fucking album that the Chili Peppers, they don't like? I like that album. I'm a little pea. I love the skies and the trees. I like it right until he goes, you're homophobic, redneck, dick. And then he just sounds like he should be beaten with his bass. And I like Flea. But that's one of the lines where I was with him right up until then. And then I was just kind of like, Flea, maybe, just maybe, do you ever think maybe you're bringing it on yourself just a little bit? Anyways, so this is the Thursday afternoon podcast. It's just a quickie, just a little half hour. Just a half hour on payday, at least old school payday. At least payday when I was a kid. I think before me, those people used to sew their own pants together. They used to get paid in like lambs and like sheep and shit whenever. And then after them, then people got those little bowler caps, those fucking Clockwork Orange things, and then they got paid on Fridays. And then at some point, it moved to Thursday. And that's when old Freckles came down the pike. Oh, I'd like to unload some trucks, right? Next thing you know, I'm getting paid on a Thursday. So I assumed that that's the way it was going to be. But unfortunately, they moved it back to Friday. I don't fucking know why. I have no idea. God knows. God knows it wasn't for the working man, right? They were always just fucking over the working man every goddamn day. I don't know nothing about no robbery. So anyways, I just fuck around on this one. And basically, the last half of the podcast, I play a little bit of greatest hits. You know what I mean? Get you over the fucking hump day there. Before I get started, speaking of started, I'm on my way to Boston here. For my homecoming. I'm going to wear one of those little fucking crowns and a sash. I'm playing the fucking Wilbur. I'm doing it from, what the hell am I doing? Let me check out my Pitbull's calendar here in the corner, like I'm fucking 9 years old. Oh, look at those cuties. Jumping through the little fucking thing together, right? Enjoying themselves, not trying to kill each other. No sign of Michael Vick or anybody with a fucking neck tattoo. They're living the life. I am there from this Saturday, May 8th, until Tuesday. Hang on. Tuesday the fucking 19th. Tuesday the 19th. I'm doing like a week and a half run. 2 shows every night. Doing the Wilbur run. So it's going to be great. I got a bunch of family and friends coming out. It's going to be like a mini high school reunion on some nights. Some of my old drinking buddies and people I went to school with. It's going to be a phenomenal time. But if you can't make it up to Boston, if you can't jump in your car, you can't get on a plane, but you live in the New York City area, I have a show that you should go to, right? Why would you want to come see me when you want to see somebody on their way up, right? You don't want to see some fat, pasty, freckled jerk-off who's just a little bit too impressed with himself. Why would you want to watch that for an hour when you can actually go to a show and be like, hey, I saw them win? That's always the best, right? Those fucking old hippies be like, yeah, I saw Hendrix with like fucking 5 people, just fucking, He walked up, he's like, yeah, can you string my guitar? I was like, yeah, he seemed cool, whatever. You want to fucking go down there before they get famous. That's what you want to do. So you can seem cool, like you knew what the fuck was up. All right? Why don't you go to the Gotham Comedy Club this weekend with this monster show? New Jersey's own, the Pride of Trenton, at Paul Verzi. Is that his name now? Paul Verzi. Rose Bowl tailgate legend, the Don himself. All right? From Pittsburgh via San Francisco, Joe Bartnick. And then rounding it out, all right, first generation Greek Giannis Pappas. You got 3 headliners for the price of fucking one at the Gotham Comedy Club. They're performing Friday and Saturday night. Tickets are going fast, which I knew they were going to. I'm just trying to help the boys sell it out, push the last few over. It's a great fucking club. And the Mazzillis who run it are just the salt of the earth fucking people. They got so many. Someday somebody's going to do a fucking documentary on them. and Steve and Chris Mazzilli, and I'm telling you, they just fucking, I don't know. Chris Mazzilli's got some of the most classic fucking lines ever. The shit that he said to people. He doesn't take any shit. If you come in there and you're a fucking prima donna, he just fucking gives it to you straight. He's not even a fucking asshole about it. All right? He just, in the most eloquent, dapper way ever. If there's a possible way, in a dapper way, to tell somebody that they're being a cunt, Mazzilli can do it with one eyebrow. You know, he's looking down at his shit, and you fucking come in there with your fucking, you know, Diana Ross and the Supremes vibe, and he will just fucking lift an eyebrow up and look at you, and that's it. You just immediately know that you're out of line. But if you're a sweetheart, and he doesn't need to do that, the guy will treat you like a fucking king. So, please go down and check out that show if you can. All right, enough with the whoring it out. Let's get into what the fuck I want to talk about this week. All right? As I keep an eye on Game 3 of the Canadiens Tampa Bay, taping this on Wednesday. First period has ended. Canadiens 0, Lightning 1. Huge game. Huge game. Does Tampa Bay put their foot right on the throat of those silly sock-wearing Montreal Canadiens? Or does Canadian crawl back into this series, reaching back into time when they used to be successful to draw some inspiration? What the fuck do I care? I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm actually enjoying all the hockey that I've been watching. I can't even watch the Canadians and hate them right now because we're not even in it. So I'm actually watching the game. I'll see PK do something. I go and I'll just inadvertently be like, "Nice play." I'm like, what am I doing? So anyways, fuck the world of sports for a second. Let's get into the world of nothing. That actually includes the world of sports today. So evidently they were still investigating the underinflated balls. Remember that game the Patriots won fucking 9 years ago, way back in January? Do you remember that? Let me refresh your memory. They won 45-7. Okay, and at the end of the game, Jim Irsay said, that's what he said. A grown man said that at the end of the game. He had the nerve to say that we cheated. A man who sits on the rules committee of the NFL and on numerous occasions has changed rules that were advantageous for his own fucking team because he couldn't beat those Patriots from New England. He did that fucking 10 years ago. They cheated. They were covering our receivers too hard. Him and Peyton Manning made a fucking tape. They whined about that after the game. They whined about it during the Super Bowl. They whined about it at the fucking Pro Bowl. Peyton Manning brought that shit up. And then at the draft, they were still crying about it. And next thing you know, there's this new fucking rule saying that all you can do is escort people down the fucking goddamn turf. And next thing you know, all of Dan Marino's records have fallen left and right. And lo and behold, the Colts finally beat the fucking Patriots and win a goddamn Super Bowl. And that's when old Freckles here said, wait a minute, why the fuck did they change that? What kind of fucking pull does this guy have? One fucking owner complains, they make a tape, they whine for a couple of months, and all of a sudden, the entire game of covering a receiver gets changed? Who sits on this rule committee? And one name stuck out, like that fucking Oliver Stone JFK movie. Who's sitting there dressed in drag with a powdered fucking wig talking to Joe Pesci with lipstick on his fucking lips? Huh? Old Jim Irsay. This fucking jerk-off is sitting here whining about the New England Patriots. First of all, the ball, okay, if they were underinflated, right? Like they're suggesting. I don't even know what they're saying because they keep going Tom Brady, he could possibly, there's no proof, but we think he might have done it. Do you know how fast you would get laughed out of court if that was your opening argument? Yeah, Your Honor, on the night in question, we are proliferating that the defendant in the proximity over there of that wooden table could possibly have been involved in something that he didn't do but maybe knew about. And we would like to press forward with this trial and waste more fucking time and money. Now, granted, having absolutely no fucking proof whatsoever, has never stopped sports talk radio or ESPN from marching ahead. They'll be like, there's no proof, we can't say it. But having said that, if this is true, what does this say? What does this say? Sorry, thing turned up. What does this say about his legacy? What does this say about the game, about competition? What does it say? What is this going to do? What does it say to the children? This is how you do sports talk radio. And all they're doing is staring at the phone lines to try to get it lit up. And the more it doesn't light up, the bigger they go. What does it say about how we conduct our foreign affairs with ISIS? I mean, if you can have a ball that isn't fully inflated, what's to say that ISIS isn't right off the shore in a sub that they bought off of the Russians? We're taking calls right now. 1-800-WHO-GIVES-A-FUCK here on Fox Sports West. First caller, Michael from Indianapolis. Yeah, I sit on a farm every day, jerking my dick, waiting for my pigs to fuck a chicken, and I think Tom Brady knew about it. You do think he knew about it, and do you have any sort of football background beyond watching your pig fucking a chicken? Is there any sort of sports, professional, or possibly just down at the Y? I played tiddlywinks one time. I like playing cornhole, and I play horseshoes every once in a while. We got the time, But the bank's been really trying to foreclose on my property here, so I don't know, man. I'm just kind of mad my team lost, and if there's any fucking excuse I can make 6 months later, I mean, shit, I'll call in. Shit, man, I'll throw some fucking manure on that fire. I'll do it. Fuck it. We're taking all calls here. That's all they're gonna fucking do. There's nothing going on here. It's over. Well, I'm going to tip my cap here that I'm not wearing to fucking Seattle for just saying, hey, great game, We threw it. Malcolm Butler fucking jumped around and you beat us. You know what? But you know what? We're going to come back next year and we're going to try to kick your fucking ass. So I hope you work out this weekend, this fucking off season. That's what a team of men does. Okay? That's what they do. But when your fucking owner is up there with the goddamn wearing adult diapers and has a rattle, that's what they do. Underinflated fucking ball. This is a funny thing, too, because they said, we noticed it by the half, and then we had the fully inflated balls, and we scored even more points and kicked their ass even worse. I got to tell you something, man. I don't know what the Patriots have done. I don't know what the fuck they did to these people, okay? And it's really only two people. It's fucking Jim Irsay, and it's fucking, what's his face there? What is it? Tony Mangini. Mangini, who, by the way, you notice is completely out of football. Completely out of fucking football. Did you see when he tried to commentate about it on ESPN? He sounded dumber than I did. And this guy actually coached a team. Who the fuck would hire him as a head coach? The Jets, Jets. Anyways, give me a fucking break. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry we won again. And by we, I mean the Patriots. I don't have a dog in this fucking fight. But have at it, all you guys on Twitter and all you people in sports bars. If you want to say what you say, I don't give a fuck. He's got the rings. If you want to whine about some underinflated fucking balls, if you want to bitch. I mean, you know what's the dumbest thing ever is that don't film the teams on the sidelines, but there's nothing to say you can't do it up in the booth. There's no rule against that. I hope you guys realize that. There isn't, as far as I know. As far as what I've overheard in sports bars, there isn't. I remember when that shit was going on. I went to a football game in Georgia, and I met somebody that used to play for one of the teams. I'm not saying Georgia or the other team. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. And he laughed. He goes, dude, we used to do that shit all the fucking time. I love how people just think like, all you got to do is just film somebody, and you're going to win 4 Super Bowls. Just underinflate the fucking ball. Dude, do you realize if that was a guaranteed victory? Let's just say underinflating the ball in an AFC championship game or just in a professional football game in general would cause you to beat a better team 45-7. What the fuck do you think they would be doing every game? When the fucking coach, when he runs in during halftime, as he was sitting there talking to the reporter, They always have the lady out there. Coach, you're down by 17 points. You haven't scored. You've punted every play that you didn't turn the ball over. What would you like to do in the second half? Well, we'd probably like to stop doing that shit and put some points on the board there, fucking cutie pie. Right? And in the meanwhile, you'd hear in the background, they would just be letting, I know what we're going to do in the second half. We're going to let a half a fucking cunt hair out of the ball, and all of a sudden we're going to beat these guys. We're going to score 45 points to their 7. Give me a fucking break. All right? Jesus Christ. We can't really prove that he did it. Look at this. Eric Walden, Colts linebacker, told TMZ that it's gross that Tom Brady would resort to cheating. There's nothing that proves that he did anything. Wells' report stated it was more probable than not that the Patriots quarterback was at least generally aware of the inappropriate activities. Dude, this is the most vague horseshit ever. It's unfortunate that they did this, but they're still the champs. What a fucking good Lord. You got to give them credit. They did it, and they got away with it, and they won the Super Bowl. Is this fucking Walden guy serious? You lost 45 to fucking 7. Wow. Can I actually, how about you guys? Can you guys who aren't Colts fans or are Patriots haters, can you guys maybe update the Colts logo to, I don't know, maybe put like one of those little baby bonnets on it and a fucking rattle? Yeah, that's what it is, everybody. They've been under deflating balls for the last 15 years, and they finally got caught because Tom Brady he really is a 6th-round pick, and he absolutely stinks. And all those throws that you saw him make, you know what? Most of the people in the stand could make them if you just underinflated it just a little bit. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And then Andrew Luck, who had the disadvantage of playing with the ball that weighed the same as every other ball he's ever thrown in his fucking professional career, because it was the right weight, that caused him to throw pick sixes and incomplete passes and all of that. It's because of the weight of the ball. See, a lot of people don't know that. It really has nothing to do with athletic ability. What it really has to do is what the ball weighs. And all you need to do is just take a little bit of air out of it. And all of a sudden, you'll beat the Colts so bad that you actually beat Seattle. Isn't that incredible? That's the level of cheating that's going on here right now. In fact, what I'm going to do during my run of dates out here is I'm going to let a little bit of air out of the theater so people get a little lightheaded, and they'll get a little high, and I'll seem even funnier. Meanwhile, I'll secretly have, pure oxygen going up my fucking nose. That's what I'm going to do this weekend, and then maybe someday Nick's Comedy Stop across the street will investigate it. All right, let's get off this dumb subject. By the way, I am playing the Wilbur Theater, and what's great about that is doing this whole run of dates is my comedy career started right across the street on Warrenton Street. Nick's Comedy Stop, March 2nd, 1992. Sorry about the phone there. 1992. And to be right across the street is pretty cool. I swear to God, if there is a show at Nick's Comedy Stop, that I can run over and do a quick 5 minutes, I'm going to try to do it. But anyways, I want to thank everybody that's come out and that's actually, bought all these tickets and everything. It's really insane. And, I'm coming with a poster. Oh, I am. And I'm bringing my fucking A game. It'd be nice to be around some Patriots fans who actually fucking, I can't say only Patriots fans, because there's so many sports fans that I know are just sitting there going, dude, this is fucking ridiculous. But I know people hate the Patriots. So they'll try to say that's why they won. Yeah, so all you guys out in the West who can't beat Seattle these last 2 years, what you want to do is right before you play them, deflate the ball a little bit in the first half, win 45-7 against an incredible opponent, and then somehow you beat Seattle. That's all you have to do. And then you will have a ring. And I want to commend the Colts for never cheating on any level, no gamesmanship whatsoever. They've always been on the up and up over there. And, I'm surprised they don't have those little Girl Scout sashes going across them. I mean, they're just so on the up and up in wholesome Indianapolis, Indiana. Indiana in general, what a great state, you know what I mean? Still keeping the Klan alive. despite the fact that they're up north. I mean, that's a special kind of hatred. All right. Anyways, one of the cool things about traveling and meeting other people is just, I don't know, I grab like newspapers and shit like that. I got to find this fucking thing. I was sitting there reading I'm one of these fucking liberal cunts out here. I'm not really, I thought I was liberal until I moved out here, but I'm sort of a, I don't know, Jay Lawhead, I'm not going to say what he calls himself because I don't want to get him in trouble, but like liberal is in there, but it's actually a funny way he defines himself. But, I don't know. I'm one of those guys where I call people cunts, but, I'm also interested in having chickens in my backyard, growing my own food, right? I don't fucking know. I like V8 engines, but I also drive a Prius. I'm a fucking weirdo, man. I'm all over the fucking map. So anyway, I saw this thing. It says Mother Hen, raising backyard chickens teaches life lessons. And this was at the Hamburg Journal. And I can't remember if I got this I got it in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, where I had the great time, where the seersucker suit had an awesome fucking show, and they really treated us right out there. So I'm reading this thing, and this woman, this lady, she did what I did. She watched one of these You Are What You Eat or fucking Food Inc., and, basically bought into it the way I did, where I was like, holy shit, I got to make sure I go down to a farmer's market and get myself some shit that doesn't have a little bit of cancer spray on it, which I get. I mean, I kind of get what they're doing. You got to feed 7 billion people. I mean, you got to take out some bug spray. It's just how it works. But I'm trying to lessen the bug spray. So I did that maybe for about 3 days, and it was really hard. It was really hard, and I quit, like a lot of these women who consider themselves feminists, like, oh my God, I'm a feminist. No, you know what you really did? Life was hard and you quit, and now you're looking for a scapegoat. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm talking about the bottom feeders. You know the ones I'm talking about, right? The ones that want the world to buy them a drink and then give them the credit. Those ones, the ones who don't think that, they just think being a guy is easy and you don't have to work for anything. You just walk in and gumdrops fall from the fucking ceiling. Oh, you got a dick. What dream would you like to have come true today? Right? Anyways, so this woman actually was like, she went the whole fucking way. She actually planted a garden. Granted, she had a fucking yard. She planted a garden, but still raised all this, grew all this fucking food. The kids loved it and all that. So then at one point, she's just like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to get chickens. And, the chickens lay the eggs and they started selling them to the neighbors and all that type of shit. Now, here's something I did not realize, because I actually was thinking, like, if I actually had the space or something, I'd love to have some fucking chickens running around, a goddamn goat, You fucking bend over to pick up the morning paper. He comes in and sends you across the yard. Next thing you know, you're fucking wrestling with it, huh? Sweeping its 4 legs. Having a great time. Little farm action in the city. This is something I didn't know, is that chickens, after a while, can't lay any more eggs, right? Like they went through menopause or something. Sorry, ladies. I'm just, whatever. I never took any of those fucking biology classes. Help me out here. So, anyways, their kids love the chickens and everything. So what happens is once the chicken can't lay eggs anymore, that's when you got to make a decision. What am I going to do with this fucking thing, right? Does it come in TV, sit next to me and ask me for the fucking clicker? Or do I take this thing out? So anyway, let me just read a little of this. She goes, this is the middle of the story. She said, my daughter does her part too. It's her job to pick through the leftovers and food scraps and toss them out to the chickens. Soon after I assigned her that job, the chickens learned to come running whenever they saw her because they knew she had something for them. Blah, 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 blah. She wants to treat them as pets, though I warn her that chickens are for making food. First eggs and then one day meat, because hens stop laying at some point, and I'm not running a chicken retirement home. This is so refreshing to read, because I would never read this in L.A. This person would get tarred and feathered. This woman's like, they're not pets, they're fucking food. Make me some goddamn eggs, and when they're done, I'm lopping your fucking head off, and we're having chicken dinner. So anyways, she goes, I've only had to kill 1 chicken for meat before. 2 I killed because they were suffering from injuries, and it was kinder. That chicken was Deathbeak. That's what she named him. So named by my husband because she was jet black with beady red eyes and looked like trouble from the get-go. Blah, 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 blah. Let me get to this stuff. So anyways, she could have paid. So the moment of truth comes, this fucking thing's not laying any more eggs, and she's got to take it out, right? She's got to stick an ice pick in the back of its head. I thought I'd never shut up. So she goes, I could have hired a guy to do it for me for $5. All right? Let that roll around your fucking head for a second. There's somebody in Lexington, Kentucky, who's $5 a head just goes around. He makes $5 to kill a chicken every day. You know what I mean? That's like that's in Kentucky, that's like an Uber driver. I work whenever I want, you know? I just fucking turn on the app and they tell me to come out and go kill a couple of chickens. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Anyway, one day I made $127. I got a $2 tip and I ain't telling you for what, but I'll tell you right now, I still rub one out to it. So anyways, she goes, I could have hired a guy to do it for me for $5. But she goes, but I'm not squeamish. So I decided to do it myself. The kind of thing that made this country great, right? You get up, you put your pants on one leg at a time, you go out and you murder somebody else that's in the way. You don't hire somebody else to do your dirty work, right? My grandmother laughed herself sick when I confessed that I had learned how to do the deed, basically kill the chicken, from an ultra crunchy YouTube video called Respectful Chicken Harvest. And yes, we will have a link. But it did at least show me the ropes. When I announced that Deathbeak was about to meet her doom, the kids were appalled for about a hot minute. Then they remembered how mean she was and weren't so sad after that. This isn't a fucking regular publication. They insisted on sticking around to watch. When I wasn't trying to avoid getting clawed in the face by a chicken's death throes, I watched the kids' faces. So basically when she's holding this fucker down, lopping its goddamn head off or choking it out, whatever she's doing, passing its guard, as far as I can tell, she's occasionally glancing over at her kids. This is like some fucking, what's that show about the castle and the little cunty kid runs it and he puts people to death? Fuck, what's it called? Lord of the Flies, Lies, Give Me Back My Crown. Dude, are you watching not Lord of the Rings. What is it called? Come on, everybody fucking loves that show. Ugandan Queen? I can't remember what it's called. I want to watch it. Medieval Times? You know what it is. It's on fucking cable. They're in their last scene, right? There's a dragon or some shit, I think. Anyways, she thought, can't believe it's got the little fella there. Fucks all the women. Crushing it. Full head of hair. He's got that fucking Eddie Rabbit beard. I love a rainy night. Doo 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 ooh. Why do I keep thinking Lord of the Rings? I can't get it out of my head. Fuck. All right. Anyways, she said I asked her if she wanted to stop eating meat. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I missed this thing. I looked at the kids' faces. I could see how deeply it affected my daughter in particular. Yes, you're fucking murdering this chicken. She had never seen an animal die before. She never saw you kill one either. I could see the awareness of mortality shadowing across her face. She cried at bedtime and said she hated that Deathbeak had to die. I hate that Deathbeak had to die. Could have given it a more sympathetic name. I asked her if she wanted to stop eating meat because all meat comes from animals who must die for us to eat. She thought carefully and said she still wanted to eat meat. So we lay there late into the night and talked about the food chain and informed choices. My son was far more practical about it. When I interviewed him for this story, he shrugged and said, at first I was sad, but then I was okay because that was some good chicken and dumplings. See right there? Isn't that great? That's why you travel around. I swear to God, man, if anybody out here in Hollywood fucking ever did that with a chicken, held the fucking thing down, it's its fucking legs, fucking freaking out, and you got your kids watching it, you probably get arrested. At least down here in Los Angeles. You get a little bit north of Bakersfield, in between San Francisco and Los Angeles, Reagan country, where they're growing the food and they're actually dealing with the fucking drought as opposed to the cunts down here, myself included, trying to take a shower. Can we get Fiji water put into our fucking shower? Anyways, I just thought that was interesting, like just to read it. And you think you could do it? Huh? Think you could kill a chicken? I could fucking kill a chicken. I just take out a meat cleaver. I would. You got to get like those fucking psycho gloves, like I'm picking up something crazy that could scratch me. You just got to fucking boom, bam, really quick, I would think. You know what? I'm going to watch that fucking video. Anyways, whatever. The fuck do you want from me, you know? I was just checking in on you. I had a great day today, everybody. I took the, I'm getting ready to get my pilot's license here, and today I had the written examination. The one I've been studying for like the last month. 600 questions, of which they snagged 60. And, you know, you got to get a 70 or better, you know. Sounds a little bit easier than it is, but there's all kinds of math and charts and all this fucking density, altitude, and fucking wind correction angle and all of this shit. And you know me. Okay, you guys have heard me read out loud. Right there. You know how hard I was struggling with this shit. So I studied, you know, for the last couple of weeks. And even on the bus tour, I'd go in the back of the bus and I would just go, I got to put my 2 hours in. And I took it today, and obviously I passed, or I wouldn't have fucking brought it up. So I'm psyched. Although a couple things, I got an 85. I wanted to get the 90. I got an 85, and I fucked up a couple of those. I'm not good at that, you know, taking out the little fucking slide rule and graph and shit. I just blew it off. It was on my computer screen. I'm like, what are they? They'll ask me like one or two of those, and there was like fucking 3 of them. Anyway, so I passed that. So the next thing I got to do is I gotta talk to one of the representatives from the FAA, and he grills me for an hour. And if I pass that, then I go out and fly. And that happens on the same day. And if I do that, bing, bang, boom, I got it. So that's what the fuck I'm up to after my show. So that's what I'll be doing during the day when I'm in Boston. You can be eating the food? No. I'll be studying my fucking ass off and saying the shit out loud so it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? As opposed to being like, wait. That's translational lift when the coming out of a hurricane. I don't sound like a fucking moron. I just want to be like, you know what kills me is when I'm taking this thing is they have so many students from China. They opened up something over there where I guess they wouldn't let people fly. Now anybody, you know, not anybody, but, you know, way more people can do it. And they had an overflow of people and their schools couldn't handle it. So these kids fly all the way over to Los Angeles and in a second language, not only learn how to fly a helicopter, but sit down across from some hard-nosed person from the FAA that's not going to put you in the air if you don't pass the test. They do this in a second language. And every time I see him, like, I just feel like such a pussy. I'm just like, could I go to Beijing, right? You know what I mean? Not Hong Kong, where they actually speak English, you know, a lot. Could I go into mainland China and fucking learn how to fly a helicopter? I mean, fucking unreal. You know, the instructors are amazing. I was like, some of them can't even speak English that well. I'm like, so if they can't understand you, like, how do you communicate? And this one guy goes, they understand tone. That fucking killed me, because I know goddamn well if I was in China and the fucking dude's talking to me, I can't understand him, and all of a sudden he goes, I know to be like, hey, you got controls, buddy. But the terrifying thing is, it's like, I know I'm doing something wrong, but what? Fuck. You'd have to immediately learn, no, stop. Oh my God. What the fuck? Those are the first 4 if I was learning how to fly a helicopter in China, those are the first 4 things that I would learn. How they say that. And if anybody who speaks Chinese could tell me, spell it out phonetically, I would love to learn it. I would love to fucking learn it. Just, I don't know for what. It'll come up at some point. At some point, you're going to need to say that, right? Next time you're in China, order fucking Chinese food. It's taking a while. You'd be like, oh my God, what the fuck? After you just order it in English, you could hit them with that in Chinese. You can't tell me you're not getting a laugh there. Anyways, all right. Before I get out of here, Bombers socks, everybody. Chances are, if you have some fucking feet, you like to wear nice soft socks. And face it. It says chances are if you have feet. Sorry, I went a little Johnny Mathis there. And face it, socks haven't changed since they were invented. They fall down, they wear out, and there's always that toe seam that's never in the right place. our new fucking sponsor. Bombas has changed all of that. Bombas dedicated 2 years to engineer socks that stay up and last forever and feel amazing on your feet. I have a pair of Bombas, and you know what? They feel great. You know, I like to wiggle my toes in them. Going, oh, fucking Bombas. You know that? Remember that? In Goodfellas? Oh, Jimmy. I do that when I put on my Bombas. In the shower, with my feet all wet. The Prima cotton they use is so soft, it's amazing. To know what I'm talking about, you really need to try a pair for yourself. Come on, man. You put on a pair of socks, you feel like a winner. You got a spring in your step. You'll have a smile on your face when you get fired. I don't care. I'm going to click my heels as I walk out of here grabbing my dick. But listen, Bombas doesn't stop with your comfort. With every pair of socks Bombas sells, a pair is donated to someone in need. Because socks, as it turns out, are the number one requested item at homeless shelters. Well, I hope they're sending some over to India after that earthquake. Speaking of which, I'm doing a benefit tonight. Hang on one second. Right now, for a limited time, Bombas is offering my listeners 20% off their first order and free shipping. Just go to bombas.com/burr, all lowercases. Do it now. Do it now. For 20% off the most comfortable socks on the planet and a pair for someone in need. Go to bombas.com/burr. That's bombas.com. BOMBAS.com/burr. Or, you know, they could hook up somebody homeless here. I think a lot of times we're always thinking about people in other countries. But you know what? I had such a great time in Mumbai, India. And, you know, it was awful to see what happened over there, as always. So Judd Apatow put together a benefit tonight at Largo. And actually, by the time you hear this, it's going to be over. But it sold out. We made a bunch of money, you know. We made some money. I can't say a bunch of money, the amount of money that's going to take to fix that. But I had a great time, and they really treated me right over there and met a bunch of great comics. So it's good to be able to do something. All right. That is it. That's the podcast for this week. Not the podcast for this week. I'm just checking in on you. All right? You guys have a nice fucking weekend, you cunts. And here's a little throwback from back in the day, back when I was a little younger, a little smarter, had a little more fuzz on top of my head. I'll say it sucked this week. All right? I'm all over the fucking place. I'm fucking exhausted. It's a goddamn holiday week. You guys, really, how hard are you working this week? You know, hasn't somebody come in and brought a pie in? And somebody's wearing an awful brown and orange Thanksgiving sweater. You know, maybe it's your manager to show that he has a human side. You know, isn't that the worst when you hate your fucking boss and then around the holidays, all of a sudden he just lets up a little bit and tries to act nice? You know? Or it's a female, she gets a little bit nicer, you know? And the whole time she's sitting there wishing you a happy Thanksgiving, you just want to fucking kick her right in the box. You know, but you can't. You fucking can't. Well, that was sad. What the fuck is it? It's 1-1, 15 minutes left in the third period. You know, one of the hardest things to do, I think, is to be an announcer for hockey now that they've taken out the red line. The fucking game, you break your neck sitting there watching the fucking game. That's why I like it watching it on TV, is because I don't have to keep turning my head. The camera moves for me. It does all the work. I'm literally out of shit to say. You know, I feel like right now, this is how bad this podcast is. When you bomb as a comedian, this is how it works. When shit is going great, when everything you're saying is killing, when you're on stage, basically what happens is you've done about 20 minutes of material, and you look down at your watch, and your watch says you've been up there for 55 minutes. That's when you know that you're fucking killing. And conversely, when you're bombing, you will do an hour's worth of material in 17 minutes, and all you have left is your closing bit. And you look down at your watch and you realize that you've been on stage for just under 20 minutes. And you're like, wow, now what the fuck am I doing? You know, your mouth gets dry. That's when you start going into the crowd. Hey, you know, so what's there to do around here in Raleigh, North Carolina, huh? Look at this guy over here, huh? What do you do, sir? Oh, you're a plumber. Really? Oh, so I bet your butt crack is always fucking kill me. You know, and you just fucked. Hey, how about a round of applause for the wait staff? You know, keep it going for them, you know. And I just want to thank all you guys for showing up. I know it's a recession, and I appreciate, you know, how about a hand for the troops? You know?
You know, whether you support going to war or not, you know, these kids are out there that are laying down their lives and they're away from their families. And Thanksgiving's this week. I think we should all sit back and give thanks and be appreciative that I've already done an hour's worth of fucking jokes and you cunts haven't laughed at anything. So now I'm technically in overtime, even though contractually I owe you like another 40 minutes of fucking comedy. You know? And let's not forget all the people who have died in boating accidents this year. You know, a lot of people don't know that boating accidents is one of the leading causes of death when human beings are out in the ocean. And you start remembering jokes from the early part of your act, and you start telling them, you know. You know, they did a study the other day. They said, you know, 90% of shark attacks actually happen in shallow water. No shit, that's where the people are. It's called the fucking beach. Oh! What are there, people swimming to Europe? Let's go to France, you pussies. Ah, you like that joke? That's a joke for my act in 2001. I'm going to do fucking old jokes for my act. What else did I used to fucking do? I already did one of my original jokes. You guys see these rap group Crisscross? Warm it up, Chris. Warm it up, Chris. Hey, go to bed, Chris. What are you, like 9 years old? Oh! Oh, my God, I had horrible jokes. I used to do jokes about working in a dental office. Hey, people, I got news for you. 6 years of neglect is not cured by a tic-tac in the waiting room. Hey! Huh? You guys ready for your next act? Too bad. I still got another 30 minutes to do. Ladies, back me up, huh? Guys are crazy, right? I mean, you know, we don't give a shit. That's when you're just searching for shit to say. Whatever, but it's great to be here in Raleigh. You know what I mean? It's got, you know, you come out here to Raleigh, you know, they got a mall. All right, folks, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm out of jokes. I wish you could just do that and just fucking become honest. I'm out of fucking material. I don't know what the fuck you guys want from me.
I've actually been talking about this shit on stage, and I don't give a fuck because it's such a topical bit. I don't even know if people are going to think it's funny in a month. But can we please talk about fucking Bill O'Reilly going on The View? I gotta tell you something right now. I don't like that guy's politics. I don't like his face. He has that racist face. You know, when he gets mad, his face gets pointy. He just looks evil. He's just not a pleasant human being whatsoever. But I got to tell you, he fucking destroyed on The View. You know? And somewhere in there was a victory for men because he took on 4 fucking women. They were all yelling, nah, 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 nah. And he got 2 of them to walk off their own fucking show. How do you do that? As a comedian, I was embarrassed that 2 stand-up comics just quit, which is why I'm nominating Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg as douchebags of the week. What did you think was going to... Do you think he was going to go... No, wait, don't leave. That's exactly what the fuck he wanted you to do. I was actually hoping at that point that the other 2 women were going to leave, and then he could just start hosting the O'Reilly Factor on The View. That would have been... He just totally 100% dominated, at the very least, that segment, because I don't watch that fucking show. But he just came on. First of all, he sits down. He's got on that shiny fucking Joe Pesci suit. It's difficult to say. Joe Pesci suit. And he's got his fucking legs spread like with his ball bag hanging, his shiny ball bag. He looked like, if you ever see like when Kennedy debated Nixon, how if you listen to it on the radio, how everybody said Nixon won, but if you watched it on TV, Nixon was all tanned up. He had his legs crossed. He looked like a winner. And Nixon sat there with his fucking legs splayed and crossed like underneath the chair. He looked like a fucking moron. That's what Bill O'Reilly looked like, and he still dominated. I love when he turned to Joy and was just whatever. I'm paraphrasing here, but he was just like, be quiet and learn. And she had nothing. A fucking stand-up comic. She had nothing. The whole segment was fucking hilarious. And when he goes, another gem of a moment was when he goes, a lot of people don't realize this, but 70% of Americans don't want a mosque at ground zero. And Joy goes, well, I'd like to see that poll or something like, and as she's saying that, the crowd is applauding what Bill O'Reilly just said. So you really don't need to see the poll at that point. And getting beyond that, what he really should have said was 70% of Americans don't realize that they're not building a mosque at ground zero still. That they're actually making a rec room with a ping pong table and an area to pray, kind of like they have an area to pray at every fucking airport. 3-4 blocks up the street at a goddamn coat factory is where it's actually being built. But the fact that he said that they're still building a mosque and that he got an applause break, Joy is so wrapped up into her own fucking opinion that she doesn't even hear her own studio audience back up the guy that she's trying to shit on. And the fact that this fucking guy is still putting out inaccurate information that people are still backing up. It just was fucking awesome on all of those levels. And I like how Barbara Walters was old school cool. And she didn't walk off. She gave those two douchebags of the week shit for walking off their own show. And then she got him with a nice little classy zinger. He said, Bill O'Reilly's on here this week. When we come back, we're going to talk, or he's on the show today. When we come back, he's going to talk about his new book called Pinheads and Patriots. And then she looked at Bill and she goes, at this point, I'm not sure which you are, or something like that. It was a great little zinger, but she wasn't like judging the guy. I don't know. The whole thing was funny. And just how Bill O'Reilly is viewed as this intolerant person, and then he comes on the show of, I guess, mostly liberals, and then they show absolutely no tolerance for him and then throw a fucking temper tantrum and walk off their own goddamn show. I mean, you can't tell me everybody over at Fox News wasn't literally jerking off to that moment. Bill O'Reilly almost became a fucking rock star in that moment. That was like a stand-up comic moment that he did to two comedians, which blew my mind. And I know I'm always trashing the broads on this show, but that really was a chick way of handling losing an argument. Like, I'm just going to get up and storm out. You're so used to people paying for your drinks and holding the goddamn door for you. You actually thought that as an adult that you were just going to walk off the show and this was going to be this big moment and he was going to be like, oh, wait a minute, let me stop. I loved it. He was like, go ahead and leave. I don't give a fuck. I'll continue. I'll take over your fucking show. So anyways, there you go. Douchebags of the week, Joe Behar and Whoopi Goldberg for walking off your own fucking show when a shiny suit fucking, I can't say he's a moron because he does know, I mean, look, he's very read up on that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm too stupid. This is right here why I would never engage. As much as I disagree with his opinions, I don't fucking pay attention to politics at all. I don't. I find it frustrating. I find it to be just a rigged fucking game. I don't give a fuck. And so I would never try to, as much as I disagree with Bill O'Reilly, I would never go on his show and try to fucking one-up the guy and think I'm going to beat the guy in an argument about politics. It's like he's paying attention to these politicians the way I give a fuck about football. I'm not gonna win that argument. I mean, why don't I bring fucking Roy Jones Jr. over and start debating him about boxing?